What are blurbs? How do you get them? Are they important? Today I'm going to answer these questions, so stick around. What's up, guys? My name is Brandon McNulty. I'm a writer, I'm the author of Bad Parts, and welcome to my writing channel. Today I'm going to talk about the subject of book blurbs or book endorsements. And we've all seen these. They're those little quotes that appear on the front cover of books. Sometimes they're on the back cover or on the inside of the jacket flap. You might even see them on the Amazon page, the Barnes & Noble page. You might even see them posted all over social media as advertising. But these blurbs are basically just a quote and then either the author's name or a publication name. And what they are a way of getting your audience on board with your story. And they're important because sometimes a great title and a great cover just isn't enough to get the reader interested. But sometimes when they do see that little quote on the front, they're curious enough to read it, and if it's something that interests them, they will actually open the book or buy it or whatever because of what is said in that blurb. So blurbs can play a key role in getting audiences interested in your book. So that's naturally something that's important, something that every author should be striving for. And one of the key things to keep in mind is as you're heading toward the publication stage of your story, you need to keep in mind that in advance you should be asking people to write you blurbs, or you should be reaching out to reviewers so that you can get your book reviewed and potentially take a blurb from that review. Now the question becomes, how do you get these blurbs? And this is going to depend a lot on where you're at in your career and whether you have a publisher and a lot of other factors, to be honest with you. But if you have a publisher, there is a chance that they will reach out and get these blurbs for you, and that's great. That takes a lot off your shoulders. But even if you are, benefiting from having a publisher who is actively seeking out blurbs for you, you should still try and do some legwork to get as many blurbs as you can for your upcoming book. And if you don't have a publisher or your publisher isn't willing to go out and get blurbs for you, you're going to want to pay attention to the next part of this video because I'm going to teach you how to best go about getting blurbs. Now, the first thing to know is you need to ask for these blurbs ahead of time, like several months ahead of time. Especially, you need to have them ready for when your cover is being finalized. You need to have them ready before the promotional materials are drawn up, all that kind of stuff. You need to get your book out to authors and publications and reviewers well in advance of your release date. Now, if you got time to work with, the number 2 thing you need to do, you need to take out a piece of paper and draw up a list of authors who you think might be interested in blurbing your book. And there are 3 sections to this list I'm going to teach you about. First section, this is your top section. This is a list of authors you know personally who would be interested in blurbing your book. People you met at conferences, people you've been friends with for years, people who you went to school with who ended up becoming established authors, things like that. Keyword here, established. You want established authors. You don't want just any old person who's never actually published a book before. You want somebody who has at least released a book. Now, if you don't know any established authors, you haven't met them personally, don't panic. Another thing you can do when you're drawing up your list, mark off a second section here, and then write down a list of authors that you've interacted with meaningfully online. Maybe you had a discussion with them on social media or something like that. Whatever it is, make sure it's meaningful. For instance, you want to be able to open up your email and say something like, "Hi, my name is Brandon McNulty. I don't know if you remember me, but a few months ago we had a discussion on Facebook about why Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man." Something like that. Something concrete you can point to that they may remember. And this is something that can get your foot in the door, and then you would say, well, okay, now I have a book. I was hoping to get a blurb or something from you. Would you be interested in doing this? So on and so on. Now, if you can't think of anybody for this part of the list, move on to the third section. In this section, I call it the lottery ticket section because you're going to be writing down names of authors you've never met before in person, never interacted with online. They're just people you either respect their work or you think there's similarities between your work and theirs. Anything that you might have as like common ground here, some kind of reason where you think, okay, if I reach out to this person, they may be interested in blurbing my book. Now, as promised, I'm going to show you how to write an effective email to an author asking them to blurb your book. And keep in mind that you do need to actually get their email first. Typically, one of the best ways to do it, just go to their author website, look for a contact section, see if the email is posted there. They might have a publicist. If that is the case, reach out to the publicist. Do not try to be a hero and reach out directly to the author. If they have whatever they have under that contact section, that's how you want to contact them. Then you'll open up your email, and if you know the person, you met them in real life, you'll start off by saying, Hi, author. Hope you've been doing well since we last talked at a conference or wherever you met them. I'm reaching out to ask if you'd provide a blurb for my debut novel. You want to keep that first paragraph short and sweet. Just, treat them like a human being. Say, hey, I hope you've been doing well, and here's why I'm contacting you. Then in your second paragraph, you're going to explain your publishing situation, and you're going to give a brief 1 to 2 sentence teaser about what your story is about. And then I moved on to the third paragraph, and in this paragraph, you're going to want to explain why you think your book is a good fit for the person you're reaching out to. In this final paragraph, you just want to be thankful, respectful of their time. Say if you have time to read it, don't try to force them into doing it. Don't put pressure on them. Just say, hey, if you have time, I'll be happy to send you either a digital copy or a physical copy. Then you'll sign your name, and that'll be it, and then you send off the email. Now, as for reaching out to publications or websites or bloggers or whoever else, it's going to be basically the same type of email for them. You're going to have that intro. You're going to explain who you are, why you're reaching out to them. You're going to explain what your book is about, why they might be interested in it, and then you're just going to thank them for their time and ask them if they are interested in receiving a digital copy or whatever. Keep that in mind, and remember that blurbs are worth the effort and time that you put into getting them. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have those quotes on the front cover or on your Amazon page or wherever people are going to see them. Those little, snippets of sentences can go a long way towards selling books and building an audience. So I hope this helps. Question of the day: have you ever purchased a book because of the blurb on the front cover? Let us know in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos. Hit the like and subscribe buttons for me. Share this video with a friend if you don't mind. Pick up a copy of Bad Parts if you haven't already. And as always, remember to keep on writing.